I was not born for silk skirts that swept the floor, but for the iron throne that demands blood. In a world where men wield swords and women are mere vessels, I chose my weapon, poison, a whisper of death, a silent guarantee of power. The stench of rot lingers in my nostrils, sticky blood once beneath my fingers reminds me of the price of ambition. Will you join me in my confessions? Can your heart bear the truth? From childhood, I learned to weave my fate in shadows. A Lannister, yes, but a girl trapped in a world that whispers silence. I watched my brothers, my father's sunlit darlings, while I stood in the dark. I was no delicate flower. I was a blade. I saw the venom in their eyes, the same venom I would one day wield. Men are taught to lead, to conquer. They lift goblets while we are taught to serve. But I would serve only myself. My dreams stretched far beyond the castle walls, the treachery, the deceit, it all danced tantalizingly close. My mind raced with possibilities, my heart craved power. When Robert became my husband, I realized the cruel irony. A king drinks himself to oblivion while a queen devises her rule. I was shackled by chains of gold, yet still I thrived. He would dutifully sip from his cup while I ruled from behind a veil. His whore, that dark-haired northern wretch, disappeared after a single ball. Why? Because I commanded it. Tyrion understood, yet he remained silent. In silence, I found my power. The Game of Thrones is a cruel one, filled with hidden daggers and deceitful smiles. I felt alive in the chaos. Every glance, every whisper was a note in a symphony of manipulation. Even as I smiled for the court, a tempest brewed within. Marjorie Tyrell, she was my greatest threat, beauty wrapped in cunning, adored by the people. I allowed her to shine, to dance in the light, but the flame must be extinguished. I let her weave her web, all the while I prepared my own snare. Her radiance was intoxicating, yet I knew I must dim her glow before it threatened to engulf me. I watched her charm the good people of King's Landing. Her laughter echoed through the halls, a sound that grated against my ears. Beauty can be a weapon, and I would not be outdone. As the flowers bloomed in her garden, I plotted and waited. I would not be overshadowed. And when the ashes of her sweet love mixed with the dust of the sept, I found a bitter satisfaction. The flames consumed everything, her laughter, her charm, her very essence. The attempt to erase me had backfired, leaving nothing but a charred reminder of my resolve. But that was nothing compared to what happened next. The day my last son, my soft-hearted Tommen, made the final leap into darkness came as a thunderbolt, unexpected yet inevitable. I felt the earth shift beneath me as he fell, cascading through the air, free from the weight of expectation. He was my last connection to warmth, yet I felt nothing, not a pang of grief, not a wavering breath. He was a gentle dove in a world of hawks. Now I stand alone, stripped of love and blood. No Jaime, no children, no warmth, only the whispers of the fallen echoing in my mind. And yet the throne beneath me is warm, and I alone have triumphed over all. No longer a woman defined by a man, but a queen who has taken her due. In the desolate silence of my castle, I confront the ghosts of my choice. I am surrounded by shadows, remnants of lives I've extinguished with a flick of my wrist. The power surges through my veins, intoxicating and fierce. I am a lioness, fierce and unyielding, ruling a kingdom of ashes. My throne, drenched in the blood of my enemies, feels like home. The castle walls bear witness to my story, my triumphs and my horrors. Each brick a testament to my ambition, a history written in blood and betrayal, echoing with the cries of the betrayed. In this emptiness, I have discovered my true self, a ruler forged in the fires of conflict, a survivor in a world of predators. As I sit on my throne, the weight of my victories and losses crushes me yet fuels my ambition. I find solace in the realization that the power I craved is finally within my grasp. Alone but unbowed, I embrace my loneliness. It is the only companion I need. In the echoing halls of my mind, I hear the whispers of my enemies, their defeated voices promising me victory. But it wasn't just the murders, the betrayals. It was the solitude that poisoned my heart. In the shadow of death, I found life in this throne, a cold embrace that promises eternity. This crown, heavy with the sins of the past, fits snugly upon my brow. I am Cersei Lannister, the queen who survived when all others fell. Join me again. If this haunting tale stirred something within you, subscribe for the next chapter of manipulation, betrayal, and the dark art of survival. In my solitude, I often reflect on the choices that shaped my path. Every ally I forged, every enemy I crushed, felt like a necessary step towards my ultimate goal: the throne of Westeros. People often forget that power is not merely taken, it is carefully constructed, layer by layer, like the very stone of my castle. The world is a chessboard, and every pawn I sacrificed propelled me closer to victory. Yet even with the throne beneath me, I am haunted by the echoes of my past. The faces of the fallen linger like wisps of smoke, whispers of doubt that gnaw at the edges of my conscience. Was it worth it? Did the blood I spilled truly lead to my ascension? It is a question that often dances on the precipice of my mind, tempting me to second-guess my ruthless nature. But I know I cannot afford weakness, not now, not ever. I remember the moment I made that fateful decision to eliminate Lancel. He was a foolish boy, all heart and no head, too enamored with my beauty to see the danger behind the allure. I could see the way his gaze lingered on me, the way his devotion became a noose around his own neck. In my world, affection is a luxury I cannot afford. I needed to turn that devotion into a weapon, and when the time came, I struck without hesitation. The stench of his betrayal still hangs in the air, a sickly sweet reminder of my resolve. I crushed the garlic between my teeth as I concocted his fate, the pungent flavor a foreshadowing of the bitterness to come. I watched him fall, a gentle soul crumpling beneath the weight of his own misplaced affection. Did he understand the depths of my ambition, or was he lost in the fantasy of our twisted romance? After Lancel, my gaze shifted to Marjorie. She was a flower growing in the shadow of my ambition, threatening to overshadow my carefully cultivated garden. Sweet, delicate Marjorie, a true player in the Game of Thrones. I had watched her from afar, her every move, her every smile. She charmed the people, the court, even my son. And that was the root of her peril. I could allow no rival to flourish, especially one who had captured Tommen's heart. I let her bask in the sunlight, allowed her to weave her web, to build her alliances, while I submerged her in the undercurrents of fear. Her bright laughter became a distant echo, drowned out by the simmering rage within me. Was it wise to let her grow? Perhaps, but in her beauty lay her doom. I had learned the art of patience, watching and waiting, knowing the time would come when I could snuff out her light. There was a moment when I felt a flicker of admiration for her cunning. The way she maneuvered the court, her charisma was infectious. But admiration is fleeting. I could not afford to let it hold me captive. I prepared my final act with precision, each detail meticulously planned. The flames that consumed the sept of Baelor were a symphony to my ears, a cleansing of the weeds that threatened my reign. Yet, as the ashes settled, torment began to creep into my heart. My son, so gentle, so naive, had lost his way amidst the chaos. I had hoped that Marjorie's demise would solidify my position, yet it opened a chasm within my home. With each passing day, Tommen withdrew deeper into his own despair, and I could feel the warmth of my kingdom slipping away. And then came the day of his final leap, a moment that shattered the remaining remnants of my heart. I stood at the window, watching him fall, and in that instant, I felt the ground shift beneath me. The air felt thick, almost suffocating, as if the weight of my choices had finally come crashing down. I was left standing in the ruins of my ambition, surrounded by a silence deeper than any I had ever known. His softness had been my undoing. In a world where strength was paramount, I had raised a son incapable of survival. As he plummeted, I too felt a part of myself fall, into darkness, into despair. I had sacrificed so much for this throne, yet the cost only revealed itself in the moments when I found myself truly alone. Now I reign over a kingdom that is both mine and yet not mine. The whispers of the past echo in my mind, taunting me with the faces of those I lost. The very air I breathe is heavy with regrets, shackles forged from desperation and ambition. The throne gives me power, yet it also reminds me of my solitude. I am surrounded by courtiers, yet no one sees the weight of my burdens. But I refuse to cower in the shadows of my decisions. The thrill of ruling runs through my veins, a dark elixir that stirs my ambition. I stand tall, a queen who has faced the fires of betrayal and emerged, albeit scarred. I am Cersei Lannister, forged by the crucible of my choices, and I will not be broken. In the heart of my kingdom, the game continues. The pieces shift, alliances form and crumble like the walls of a castle under siege. As I gaze at my reflection, I see not just a woman, but a force, undeniable, unyielding. I have made my bed in the ashes of my enemies, and I will lie in it as queen. If you find yourself captivated by this tale, if the fires of ambition and betrayal spark something within you, then join me on this journey. Subscribe to uncover the depths of power, the darkness of desire, and the chilling price of ambition in the world of thrones. Each new chapter brings secrets, revelations, and the haunting echo of those who dared to defy me. Are you ready to step into the shadows?